All right, welcome back. This is part B of a little video that got cut off by a phone call. Anyways, here's what we're after. We're taking our data set and we're after a number that should be interesting, right? So this number, revenue divided by revenue, is revenue computed from hydrocarbon disclosure information. So the natural gas liquid, and oil production figures multiplied by the respective prices for each of those things that companies report. All right, so it's that number, which is like all the money you're making from selling hydrocarbons, divided by the audited revenue number in a company's annual report. All right, so that's the number that should be interesting. All right, there's a worksheet called interesting work, and we do have that revenue divided by revenue number, and then just some other things that I happen to find interesting. Note that there are some division problems where they go across the 3-year average in 2011 just to see how things change, and some other things that aren't terribly important at this point. Anyway, so we have this revenue by revenue number. It's important to set up a worksheet where the numbers are static, right? So you don't have all these division problems. When the numbers are static, you can do things like sort them, right? So here is this interesting work file where if you take the whole thing, copy it, I'm not going to do that now because I already did it, and then paste it, paste the values, you get fixed numbers, right? Here's what we're after. This number will be inserted into the spreadsheet that will get posted, right? So what I was really after in this file is a particular group of companies that are here highlighted in green, right? The green companies are companies where the revenue from the hydrocarbon sales just about equals the revenue as disclosed in the annual report. And so if there's a place where the textbook accounting concepts are going to work, it's on these companies. You see how many of them match exactly, right? It's a judgment call in terms of how far off are you to not have an exact match. Remember, there's a little bit of mess in the file in terms of the hydrocarbons divided out. Like, we can accept a small amount of error. I arbitrarily picked 5%, right? So 5% is the error. That was a judgment call. So put these as a 1. That'll be useful in terms of sorting them, right? 1 will be the companies most likely to have the textbook petroleum accounting concepts make sense. Then we have a group of companies, number 2, right? Their hydrocarbon revenue is less than their reported revenue. That could be true for a lot of reasons, right? Maybe they do some refining, maybe they do pipelines. I highlighted some companies that I thought were interesting on the way. Lynn Energy just bought a big field in Wyoming from BP. Anadarko hires people here. Occidental's big, right? So the market value kind of tells you something as you're looking at these. E&I is a huge international company. It's interesting. There's no data. We'll look at why that's so later. BP, again, no market value. Hess, we've talked about a bit. Exxon, giant. But when you look at the percent of their multiplied out hydrocarbon revenue divided by their total revenue, it's only 25%. That makes the super majors kind of difficult to look at if we're taking just a quick peek at them. Shell, no market value information. We'll talk about that later. So you have really all the super majors here, and then Chevron, you think, I know this number's got to be wrong, right? They're making some money from hydrocarbon sales. We'll talk about that later. Anyways, for now, going through here, these are refiners, right? Hollyfront and Sunoco, so they should maybe have 0 here. Chesapeake, this one's odd. We'll talk about it later. Some really big market value companies that I knew nothing about, so I highlighted them, thought it'd be interesting to look at them. Go through, just think, who are these companies? A lot of internationals. We'll talk about international, but they'll get categorized as a 5, meaning they don't seem to have too much reported hydrocarbon revenue as a fraction of total revenue. Interesting group that I put down as a 4 seem to have more revenue from selling hydrocarbons than they do total revenue as reported in their annual report. This company, although it's very small, has something going wrong there, right? That's a bizarre number. There are a lot of these companies that have bizarre numbers, most of them small. Canadian Oil Sands, not small. Noble Energy, not small, but they appear to have more revenue from just selling hydrocarbons than what they have in their 2011 total reported revenue, right? So, and then we have a whole bunch of them that have zero, so something's gone bizarre there. For the time being, again, we're focused on this one group, right? So here's a trick that is hopefully useful in terms of this data set. Because it contains the same companies, and we might want to compare 3-year averages to 2011, you don't really want to delete columns. You want to keep all your columns the same. Instead of deleting things, hide them, right? So right now you'll notice that the spreadsheet jumps from column A to column I, right? What happened is there's a bunch of stuff hidden. And if you go over this and then right click, you'll see this option to unhide. Right, and so what you will see in the spreadsheet that I'll post is this file, and it will be sorted by the gov key, right? As soon as you sort it by the gov key, it will put all the companies right back in order and then allow you to copy and paste this code into a file that we could take a look at. All right, so that's the point of, or kind of explanation for the file that will be posted. Our objective is to focus on companies where the hydrocarbon disclosure, the natural gas liquid, and oil production amounts, when you multiply that by the average sales price that the company reports, right, and all those are straight numbers supposedly out of the annual report, that produces revenue, right? When you divide that revenue by their annual report revenue, we're interested in the companies where you pretty much get agreement between hydrocarbon sales and total revenue reported.